Hey guys, this is Jazz bringing you another countdown video. Do you ever just feel like really sick, whether cold, stomach, or whatever it is? Well, sometimes some video games can be there to cheer you up. And I'm going to give you a list of my top 5 games to play when I'm sick. Or it could be your, but I'm putting on because it's my list and doesn't necessarily mean that it is 100% true for all cases. So please bear that in mind. Some may seem strange, but I will explain my reasons for them being on the list. Well, let's go on to number 5. Number 5 is South Park: The Stick of Truth. I know, that is a story action-oriented game for the PC. How the hell would that help make me feel better? Why is it good to play when I'm sick? Well, have you ever just felt like beating people up when you weren't feeling good? Get all that negative energy out? Yeah, I know some people would play Call of Duty or other RPG games like World of Warcraft, but really, to be fair, I've never played those games, and South Park: Stick of Truth kind of brings that to me, that same satisfied feeling. Also, they have a lot of humor in it. It's a funny version of it. They say laughter is the best medicine, right? There are only like a few complaints about it, which is why it's so high on the list. Some areas could be really frustrating, which is not good if you're stomach ill. But besides that, it gets everything out. It just feels so satisfying when you beat those bad guys, or it feels so good when you bend over laughing when there's a funny cutscene brought out of it. It's like the almost, as I said, this is high on the list. This is almost the perfect thing to do when you just don't feel like doing anything. It gets you into the mood of doing something. Well, that's pretty much all I could say about this. You'll hear more about this in a review if I do one. So, that was number 5. On to number 4. Number 4 is Harvest Moon: A Wonderful Life. That is kind of obvious for a lot of people, because Harvest Moon, the series, is naturally relaxing. Okay, there are quite a few exceptions. Like, I know I made a rant video, but again, there are a few exceptions to really pleasant games for me in the Harvest Moon franchise, and Harvest Moon: A Wonderful Life is one of them. Now, the reason it's on the list is obviously you don't really do much of anything. You farm, you give gifts to your spouse, and it has just a relaxing atmosphere. The reason why this is still high on the list is that my illness is a majority of the time my IBS, irritable bowel syndrome. So a console game is really not the best thing for me, because I can't play it in the washroom if I had to. I know, TMI. But this overall is a relaxing game, and very rarely, if I'm if I'm kind of not feeling good in my stomach, I can still play, and it soothes me. It's like you've obviously had a Let's Play of it, so you know, how, I'm not saying this in a really negative way, but how ritualistic and the sameness it feels. That's another thing for me. I thrive on, I do changes sometimes, and it's cool, but when it comes to video games, but I kind of thrive on routine in a way, so this gives me the familiar, calm atmosphere if I'm not feeling good that I need. As I said, the only reason it's high is that it is not portable. It would be quite a bit lower if it was. It just, with the relaxing atmosphere, the just ritualistic routineness of it, Harvest Moon: A Wonderful Life is number 4, and on to number 3. Number 3 is all the Pokemon 3DS main titles. I know this seems to be cheating, but I couldn't just choose one. Okay, I'll be more clear. Pokemon X, Y, Omega Ruby, and Alpha Sapphire. When I mean all the main titles. I know I could have chosen one or the other, but they both give me the same feeling. You see, any other Pokemon games, like before X and Y, it could frustrate you. You would have hours battling in the grass and doing nothing but just that. And that can be frustrating, like especially for someone with IBS, because stress and food causes the main irritability of it. Where I know this sounds really, really bad of me, and I understand people liking a challenge, and X, Y, Omega Ruby, Alpha Sapphire really aren't the best games for those who really want a challenge, in a way, but for someone like me who enjoys a little easiness sometimes, those 4 titles balance it. It's not too stressing to play because you could just level up throughout the game once you get the EXP share. And Pokemon Omi, oh my god, that is just so relaxing just to play it. If you want to kind of just feed your Pokemon treats, give it attention. The only stressing thing about that are some of the mini games. But I've gotten used to them. The Pokemon X and Y and Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire just also has a more relaxing atmosphere to it than the other titles have. Oh, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that they are the absolute best Pokemon games, but they're probably one of the better ones to play when you're not feeling like doing much. And I'm not saying it is a complete pushover either. It has its storyline and its challenge, which is why it is so low on the list. It's lower than the prior two, but it's still high enough that it still gives a bit of a headache sometimes, but it is the most relaxing of the main title games to play. So if you have to play a Pokemon main title game when you're sick, these 4 titles are it. Yes, they both, like Omega Ruby and Y, let's just say, for example, have different storylines, because Omega Ruby is based on Ruby. But it's still, some of the similarities, like the experience share, the Pokemon and me, they are similar. So I put it in that, all 4 of those titles in there for a reason. I love Pokemon, and I love the fact that I can play a Pokemon game when I'm sick. If I'm not feeling good, something that's relaxing. And so, the 3DS Pokemon main game titles are number 3. Now on to number 2. Number 2 is The Sims 4. Now you're probably thinking, why not all Sims titles? Well, out of all of the Sims series, I've never played The Sims 1, I confess, but of all the Sims series I've played, 3, 4, and 2, The Sims 4 is just the most relaxing of them. I'm sorry, but it is. The Sims 3 have a lot of bugs. The Sims 2 has too much variety that my mind might go, whoa, which is good for a game. If it was talking about the best titles, Sims 4 might not quite win. But The Sims 4 is by far the most relaxing at this point. There's some differentness to it, there's some choices to it, but you don't have to do all these things, like, just to get further on. You can kind of relax playing it more. All the Sims games are somewhat relaxing, kind of, except for The Sims 3. I know I used to bash The Sims 2, but it is not as bad as it once was. But, again, The Sims 4 has the least bugs to it. has the least amount of variety, which is, yes, a bad thing in some ways, like in game-wise, but it's good in this sense because you don't have to worry about all these options and you can just kind of go through and relax and play it. And it's just kind of relaxing in a way. Like, okay, I may have said this as a bad thing. Yes, there's no toddlers, which is a bad thing, but it is a good thing for this list. Because I don't have to focus on, oh, I gotta potty train, oh, I gotta teach to walk, oh, blah, blah, for each kid. I can just age the kid up, make sure they get good grades, but still enjoy each kid as an individual. Not saying that is a good thing as games go, but for a game just to relax to, that is a good thing. And I know this is not really, like, the South Park Stick of Truth and this game are both PC games. Yes, they're kind of like a console, they're not like a handheld. But for TMI again, anyone doesn't want to hear it, TMI, if I was going to be in the washroom for a while, I could still unhook the computer and bring it in. But this is just enjoyable, it makes me feel good to play even when I'm not feeling good. It is not the number one on the list because there's a game that has similar things there, but, well, we'll just go on to that in the next one. The Sims 4 was number 2 on the list, and now on to number 1. Number 1 on this list is Tomodachi Life. I'll just say either 3DS or DS, but you will see 3DS footage in this video. Yes, okay, yes, it's far from The Sims in a way, but it has somewhat of a similar premise in a way about creating things. And yes, I know Animal Crossing probably should have been on this list, but I don't play it enough to really consider it. It's my list, right? Personally, yes, it is also similar to Harvest Moon in a certain way, but better. You really don't have to do anything but watch how your islanders grow and feed them. If I'm not feeling good, if I just want to do something though, I can do that. You can create your own characters in a way, which is good. You can have that creativity aspect to it. And you can also somewhat have kids in this game, just a lot harder. It's a lot more random is the point. Now, there are a few things here that are a little frustrating, but not enough to really need discounting it. There are a few mini games that are a bit difficult, but they don't come until like the dating marriage aspect of it, so that is random. That's the only downside to it is that it can be out of the blue in a bad way too. So why is it so low on the list as of number 1? That comes randomly. Really randomly, the chances of it happening are in a certain time when you're not feeling good are rare. If it happens, then it happens, and you just get it out of the way. If you lose, you lose. It's a game that you can kind of relax to most of the time, and it's handheld. Even the 3DS, even the DS title is handheld. So you can enjoy it either system. Okay, yes, the 3DS one and the DS are different, which is why I'm using the majority of the 3DS footage, because it's a better one. But it's just a relaxing game. Really doesn't bring much reason to be frustrated, and sometimes also another big thing about this game. Whenever you go into a new day or you go to one of your villagers, they'll ask you, how are you today? Or what's up? Hello. They're concerned, if you're absent for a while, they're concerned about you. Yes, I know they're a video game. It doesn't replace human social contact. I understand that. I mean, I should better. But at the same time, if someone doesn't say, how are you today? How good does it feel? Go in to see one of your villagers. I missed you. How were you? That gives you a great feeling even when you're not sick. Imagine if you're not feeling good having someone ask you that. It can be bad, yes, but it's also, majority of the time, it's really good. It just gives a good vibe overall. And that is the reason why it is number 1 on this list. I hope you guys enjoyed this list. If you're sick, maybe it made your day. I will see you guys in my next video.